Hello. All right. So hopefully everything is well underway. Let me make sure. Hopefully it's going to start all on its own, and it looks like it is. Okay, good. Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will get started here very shortly. Hopefully everybody's having a great day today. Let me say hello to some people. Gary Cook is here once again. Welcome back out, Gary. So happy you're here. We got Jordan back once again. Glad to see you here, although you are going to church soon. But that's a pretty good reason to skip out on the lesson early. But thank you for making it. I appreciate that. Adria says, hey, Gary. Welcome, Adria. Glad to have you with us. Tanny is back once again. We got Grace here. You can do it, Tim. Here from Bangor, Maine, says Fuddy Duddy. Glad to have you back here once again. And let me just go through, say hello to everybody, and then we're going to get right on to the lesson. We got Lynn here. Hello, Lynn. Welcome out to our classroom. Anybody who is, whether you're a new student or returning student, we meet Fridays, Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Except this Sunday, we are not meeting, and I do have to write the schedule for next week. Like I said, I have some things going on, so my schedule is going to be a little bit wonky over the next few weeks. But next week, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to have both live streams. We're at least going to have one. I'm going to try to have still at least one live stream a week if I can. And we're going to go from there. All right, Cecilia's here. Welcome, Cecilia. All right, we got Bandowut here. We got Bronze Knight again. Carol Christensen's back. Laredo's back. I trust all you are well. Ready to great lesson on the famous circle of fifths and its uses. I'm glad to join you as always, says Laredo. Right back at you, Laredo. Happy that you are here. Carol Etchoff here once again. All right, we're going to get started here. Let me get the Facebook stream started, and we're going to get right on to the lesson. So feel free to say hello, chime in. It should only take probably less than a minute to get the rest of this ready, so a little bit longer. Okay, almost there. Hello students, welcome back to our classroom piano lessons on the web. We meet Fridays and Sundays live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I would love if you could come out and join us. All right, we're going to get started here with the lesson. Let me just make sure I got just one or two things ready while I'm getting it ready. Share this lesson on social media. The more students we have in our classroom, the better, because we have a great discussion after the lesson is over. So, you know, share that lesson. All right, here we go. All right, and let me make sure I got this up, and perfect. Great. Hello students, today we're talking about 4 of the best uses for the circle of fifths. Some of them are the more easy. Let me try that again. Sorry about that. Hello students, today we're talking about the 4 best uses of the circle of fifths, and some of them I'm willing to bet you didn't know about already. If you haven't seen the first lesson we did on the circle of fifths explaining what it is and what it does, check out the link in the description. Also, I'll put a card up to catch you up because these first few uses we're just going to kind of blow by a little bit quickly. The main use of the circle of fifths, by the way, is to tell what key that you are in. So you go to the circle of fifths and say in your music you have in your key signature 1 sharp. Well, if you go to the circle of fifths and find it where I've circled it here, you'll find that there's a G here, it says 1 sharp here, and an E there. The outside of the circle are the major keys, it tells you that. And then the inside of the circle are the minor keys. So the one with 1 sharp is either G major or E minor. Say you have 3 sharps here, right, come on, go away. Right here, well, that's either A major or F sharp minor. So it works just like that, but I go over that in the previous lesson. I just wanted a quick review. Your teacher, Tim, here from Piano Lessons on the Web, the classroom dedicated to giving you the opportunity to power up your piano skills and share them with the world. Let's get on with some of the more better uses of the circle of fifths, some you might not know about. Okay, use number 2 is what sharps or flats are in a key. So not only does it tell you what key you're in, but which sharps or flats you're going to encounter in that key. This is very useful whether you're a piano player or you are into music theory or composition, because obviously if you know what sharps to be on the lookout for when you are playing, you're going to know, okay, I'm in the key of A, so I expect these 3 sharps, F, C, and G. It also helps to play the scale of whatever key that you are in. So it's useful for that. But let's take a look here at the circle of fifths so I can show you exactly how this works. So let's just go again with the one with 1 sharp here. Right? And if you drew a note where that 1 sharp was up on the top line in the treble clef, what note would that be? Well, hopefully you know how to read music. That is F all the way at the top. That tells you that all Fs throughout the piece are sharped unless there's some kind of natural going on telling you otherwise. What if there's 2 sharps here? Well, you have this. So whenever you're adding sharps, by the way, you have all the sharps previously plus a new one. So this one has 2 sharps, F from before, plus a new one, C. So that's how it works. And that's telling you also that the key of D and the key of B have those 2 sharps. So the major key, first of all, for every key signature, there's a major and minor equivalent to go along with it. But they do share the same sharps or flats in common. So D major and B minor have the same sharps. Ooh, I meant to write us over here. So inside the circle here, you know, we had 2 sharps, and then D and B share those 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So let's take a look at the piano and just, you know, go over these keys real quick. So again, the scale is a great way to visualize all the notes that belong in a key, because it's really putting all the notes in a key from the starting note, aka the tonic, up to the same starting note, again with all the necessary sharps in between. So D has the 2 sharps, F and C. Now B minor has the same 2 sharps, except you have to keep in mind that when you are you're just starting on a different note, B, and C sharp's your next note. Just like that. So that's really the only difference between the major and minor keys. There's a little bit more to it than that with harmonic minors and things like that, but we're not going to go over too much into detail about this because this is all about the other uses of the circle of fifths. Now, it is all about the good stuff from here on out. These last 2 uses you probably don't know about. So let's get into this first use. Okay, use number 3 is it can be used to figure out the primary chords in a key. So you may be asking, well, what is this useful for? This is useful whether you're playing, again, whether you're playing piano or you're writing music, because if you know the primary chords in a key, you know that those are probably going to be the most common chords, at least in most cases, that you're going to find throughout that piece. And that's going to allow you to plan ahead of time. So if like I have C major, the key of C major, I know that the primary chords are always built on the first note of the scale, the fourth note of the scale, and the fifth note of the scale. So in a key of C, I'm going to see a lot of C majors, a lot of F majors, and a lot of G majors. So if I become familiar with those chords ahead of time, it makes it a lot easier. Same if you're writing a piece, and especially if you're new to writing music, you probably want to stick to your primary chords because they will probably sound the best. Can you have other chords in the piece? Yes, you can. You can have a lot of other chords, in fact, but these are the ones that you're going to be seeing most often, so it's very, very useful. Now let me show you how the circle of fifths is useful in figuring out your primary chords. So say you have the key of C, which has 0 sharps, 0 flats. That's why this one doesn't have a key signature next to it. So here's the key of C, 0 sharps, 0 flats. So the primary chords on the circle of fifths works like this. It's the one that you're on, so the key of C. So that's your 1 chord. Your 4 chord is to the left of that. 1 to the left is just F major. And then your 5 chord is 1 to the right of that. So you have them all 3 in a row. You have C to the left, you got F, and then G for your 1, 4, 5 chords. Let's do it starting on a different key, shall we? Say you have the key with 2 sharps. Well, you find it on the circle of fifths right there, and that tells you that we're probably going to be, let's just say we're in D major. Now, we're going to use the same thing. So obviously the one I've circled right here, that's our first primary chord. That's the 1 chord. That's going to be your D major chord. Let me move this a little bit. Just like that. Now, how are we going to find the 4 chord? Well, let's check it out. I actually think this might, yeah, this will even be even better. So the 4 chord is going to be 1 to the left, which just happens to be up a little bit, counterclockwise. And then the A is to the right of that, or clockwise. So 4 is up here with the G, and 5 is down here with the A. So your primary chords in the key of D are D, G, and A. Just like that. Now, it works the same way no matter where you are on the circle of fifths with the major keys, but it also works with the minor keys as well. So say that you're in the key of A minor this time with 0 sharps, 0 flats again. Let me get rid of this check mark here. There we go. So A minor is going to be our 1 chord of our primary chords. The 4 chord is going to be where? Right to the left of it, or counterclockwise. D minor. By the way, if the notes are written, the letters are written undercase, that means minor. And if they're written uppercase, that means major. So these are all minor chords. And then E is going to be our 5 chord right here. So in the key of A minor, which has 0 sharps, 0 flats, you can expect mostly A minor chords are 1 chord, D minor chord are 4 chord, and E minor chord or 5 chord. Let's do one more example of this. Let's say that we're in the key of F minor. So how are we going to figure this out on the circle of fifths? Well, you go on the inside, right? Because these are all the lowercase ones. They're even labeled as minor. So you find F right here. Here it is. And that has 4 flats. And the primary chords in that key are going to be what? Well, F minor for sure. Then counterclockwise, it's going to be, or to the right if you, but it makes more sense to say counterclockwise. C minor is your 4, and then B flat minor is, oh, wait a second. F minor's 1, C minor is actually 5, and B flat minor is 4, just like that. Okay, say you have the key of G minor. The primary chords you're going to find are G minor, D minor, and C minor. Just like that. I think you get the idea. It works the same all around the circle of fifths. All right, let me erase some of these dots here. Come on. There we go. Okay. The next use of the circle fifths that you probably don't know about is it also helps you understand what your chord substitutions are. Let me get that away from there. What your chord substitutions are, which means what a chord substitution basically is that you can substitute any chord, say F major, for another chord so long as they have two notes in common, or two common tones they call it. So you can actually switch out an F major chord with a D minor chord, and that's a very common thing to do. Now, why would you want to switch out one chord for another? Well, say you're playing in a piece, right? You start in the key of C. It normally goes to the F major. But you wanted it, instead of feeling major, which is a happy chord, you wanted it to go to minor. See, it added a different flavor. So if you're interested in composition, that's one great way to use it. But just know that as you're playing your piano pieces, they commonly use chord substitutions. Now that you know what those are about, let's go to the circle of fifths and figure out what our chord substitutions are going to be. Okay, so here's how it works. It's pretty easy, I would say. So hold on, just give me a second here. Okay, so you have say we're in C major again, right here, 0 sharp, 0 flats. Now, here's the thing, is that you can actually substitute any of these. So say we have our primary chords again, and we're going to substitute these. You can actually substitute any of the outer ones for the inner ones on the circle. So what that means is that you can actually substitute this C chord for an A minor chord, F for a D minor chord, and G for an E minor chord if you wanted. Now, those aren't the only chord substitutions that exist, but they are probably the more common ones that you're going to find. So those keys have two notes in common, or two common tones. So you can use the circle of fifths that way by going from the whatever side of the circle you're starting, either outer for major, inner for minor, and then doing the opposite. So in C major, like I said, you can have those chord substitutions available to you. Now, let's say we are in the key of D. No, say that we're in the key of B minor. Well, our primary chords are going to be B minor, the one next to it on one side, the one next to it on the other side, so E minor, F sharp major. Now, we can substitute this E minor chord for a G major, B minor for a D major, F sharp minor for an A major. So it's the same thing you use for the primary chords. You're just kind of crossing that line over to the other side of the chord to come up with those chord substitutions. Okay, now I'm going to open up the floor in the classroom for questions. Let me know any questions you have. If you're not watching this live, let me know the questions you have about the circle of fifths in the comments. Is there another use for the circle of fifths that you can think of that I didn't cover tonight, or something you want to elaborate more? Because when we all learn together, we come to a class together, we all learn a whole lot more. So I encourage you to leave me any comments or questions you have about this lesson or the circle of fifths in the comments. But let's see what some of our live students have to say. Okay, Laredo says, I am joining you, albeit Youth Day holiday here in South Africa, and we commemorate the youth of the 1976 student uprisings in the then fight against the injustices of the former apartheid regime. Abigail says, hi, Tim, and hi, all. Hello, Abigail. So happy you could join us this evening. Grace is here. Grace says, my piano recital today was all right. All right, glad to hear it. I know you said last week that you had one. I'm glad that it turned out at least all right for you, so long as they don't turn out bad. Every recital is certainly a learning experience. Hey, Fireflowers here, and you are fairly on time. Welcome out to our live stream. Carol says, way to go, Grace. Yes, good job, Grace, everybody. Yeah, post it on your channel if you can. I would love to see it, even if you put it on private and send it to me. Barbara says, I missed 7 minutes because YouTube will not automatically go directly from the waiting video to the live stream. Not sure why that is. Yeah, you'll just have to refresh the page at start time. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. Loretta says, Tim, how and why? So we have a question here about the circle of fifths. Laredo says, Tim, how and why does the circle of fifths theory differ from the harmonic circle theory, and are they exactly one and the same thing? I assume they're one and the same thing. I'm not as familiar with harmonic circle theory. Let me look this up because, you know, I'm really not sure. Let's take a look. Harmony. Let's look this up. Here you go. Circle theory. Yeah, looks like the circle of fifths to me. Let's see. Yeah, from what I can tell, it's the same thing. The Wheel of Harmony and Music Theory, circle of fifths. Yeah, from what I can tell, they are the exact same thing. And your question was, how do they differ? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same thing. Okay, Grace says harmonic is just the seventh note being sharped. Well, that's harmonic minor. The confusing thing about music is that there are terms like dominant and harmony, or harmonic minor and things like that. And they are related all in some way, but they do have different uses. I don't know if any of you are big into IT, but there's a ton of acronyms in IT where they all mean like slightly different things. So it's a little bit like that. A harmonic minor scale, all harmonic minor scale is, I mentioned this earlier when I was going through it. First of all, strictly harmony is really just notes being played at the same time and what kind of sounds that they make. And chords is a great way to describe harmony. But what a harmonic minor scale is, I assume it's called that because it gives you more harmonies to work from. So say you have A minor, yeah, A natural minor they call it. Well, A minor, if you remember from the circle of fifths, had the same key signature, no sharps, no flats. So you just play the same scale starting on A. So there's your A minor scale. But there's something missing in minor scales, natural ones anyway, and it's that when you get to that next to last note, there is no leading tone. Because a leading tone, by the way, a leading tone leads you back to the tonic. A leading tone, by definition, has to be a half step away from where the tonic or the note that you're ending on. So a major key, when I stop at this seventh note, the leading tone, it's automatically a half step away from C because we don't have a black key in between. So what they do for a harmonic minor scale is they raise this G to a G sharp, the next to last note. So you have that leading tone back in there. So that's the difference between harmonic minor and natural minor. I know it's a little bit confusing to get it mixed up with just the general definition of harmony. Now, I believe it's called harmonic minor. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. But what harmonic minor does is when you're building notes on each, like remember that in every key, you can build chords on each note of the scale, giving you 7 chords, just like 7 notes in the scale. So here with A minor, you can build a note on each note of the scale, same way. But if you have the option of having the G sharp in there, that actually gives you some different uses of the chord. So it gives you some different harmonies to choose from. Okay, let's see any other questions that our wonderful students have tonight. Laredo says, is it also correct to say that the circle of fifths is the same as the circle of fourths? They are not exactly the same. They do the same thing, though. Let me look up the circle of fourths for you. Let's go to the good old Google here. Not there. Okay. Circle of fourths. I don't really like this one. It's the same idea, except by the way, I should explain why it's called the circle of fifths before I explain what the circle of fourths is. And actually, a circle of fifths can be a circle of fourths if you read it in the opposite direction. So you may be going, what? Well, let me explain. So, you start here on C, 0 sharp, 0 flats. The next key up with 1 sharp, you just go clockwise, is G with 1 sharp. Then you got D with 2 sharps and A. There's a relationship between all of these, and that relationship is, well, let's take a look and see if we can figure it out. So our first key is C, right? Then our next key with 1 sharp is G. How far apart are C and G? Well, they're a fifth apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next key from G, which is 1 sharp, is the key with 2 sharps, D. How far apart are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This key D and the next key A with 3 sharps are how far apart? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See a pattern yet? Well, here we have our key A with 3 sharps. The next key is going to be the one with 4 sharps, E. How far apart are A and E? What do you think? 10? No. 2? No. 4? Yeah, no. 5. They are 5 apart. They are always 5 notes apart. So that's why it's called the circle of fifths. Because actually, each consecutive, how do I phrase this? You know what I mean. Each one in the order of sharps is going to be 5 away from the previous one. Okay, now the circle of fourths. Let me bring up the entire thing here so you can see it a little bit better. The circle of fourths you just read in the opposite direction. So you have C here. Then the one with 1 flat. By the way, flats go the other way. I didn't really mention that as well. So the circle of fourths is really better for flat key signatures. So here we go. You have C major with 0 sharp, 0 flats. What is the key with 1 flat? Well, that's F. Well, what's the relationship between C and F? Well, here's C. Here's F. They're 5 apart, right? No. They're actually 4 apart this time. So circle of fourths. Now you have the key with F. The next key with 2 flats over here, right here, is going to be B flat. Now you have to kind of know that, in your F major scale, when you go up 4, it's going to be a B flat and not a regular B, because F has 1 flat, B flat. So that's the next one. What is the key with 3 flats going to be? Well, obviously you can read it off the circle of fourths here, I guess. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up from there. So all the circle of fourths is you're going in the opposite direction and figuring out the flats. The circle of fifths goes in the clockwise direction to figure out these sharps. Okay, I want to quickly thank both Gary Cook and Alinda Reitz for the super chat. Thank you so much. If anybody else found this lesson helpful, feel free to leave a super chat. A great way to support our channel, because as you know, it does take a lot of time, effort, money to put these together, so I really, really appreciate it. So super big thank you to both of our students there. And actually the rest of you as well for, just chiming in and listening. That's a great way to be a part of our community. Also, let's see here. Yeah, so Bandawa already had it that you go the other way. Thanks, Tim. Truly appreciate it. You're welcome. Thanks for making this video, says Zigwin. I'm going to call you Zigwin. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. You're very, very welcome. We got Nita Nuri. Netanuri. Maybe that's it. Welcome, Netanuri, and Zigwin. Apologize if I'm butchering your names right now. Thank you for coming out to our classroom. You're welcome to come back anytime. It goes for all new students tonight. We meet usually Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live here on YouTube, youtube.com/lessonsontheweb, and facebook.com/lessonsontheweb. But like I was mentioning, we are going to have off this following Sunday, but we are definitely going to meet, I'm pretty sure, next Friday at the same time. If you're interested in joining us, I just wanted to extend that invitation out there. Grace has got to run. No problem, Grace. Thanks for coming tonight. Nathan's a little late to the party. No problem, Nathan. Carol says you can add a 7th chord with your chords. That's true. Add minor to all chords. The more chords you know, the better you get knowing where the chords are. Very true. So spend time learning all of your chords. If you want to learn at least your major chords, lickety split. Let me show you. But first, let me bring it here because I want to bring up something here. So just give me a second. Okay, I really want you to check out this lesson here. It's called Learn All of the Basic Chords on Piano, the Fastest Method. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Check that if you're... Darn touchscreen. All right, if you are interested in learning all your basic chords on piano really fast, major, minor, augmented, and diminished, check out that lesson, and that will help you get on the path to learning all your chords. So then you can figure out where these chords are on the piano much faster. Okay, let's see what else we got. Sorry I'm late. Was practicing piano. Hey Tim, maybe you checked my channel from last week. I actually have not had a chance. The bird. I did. Man, sorry. The cord got caught here and freaked me out. But anyway, sorry. Sorry, the bird. I did not have a chance yet, but I do have you subscribed. For some reason, I do remember looking through your channel. I'm not sure if I looked at any of the videos or not. I do distinctly remember going through, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I've been very, very busy this week. In fact, I wasn't exactly sure if we were going to have a lesson tonight. Luckily, I was able to put it together for all of you. I did have some time the last couple of days to do that. So I've been busy looking at houses and things like that. It's going well. I'm possibly thinking about putting an offer on this one house I looked at, but I want the weekend to kind of think it through before I do that. Okay, let's take a look here, but I will check it out very, very soon, the bird. I do have you up in my subscription feed, so you do show up as a reminder. Sigwin? Okay, Hoda says, can you please explain fingering technique? I'm trying to practice Hanon and it's hurting my hands and arms. Oh no. What am I doing wrong? Well, the good thing about Hanon is they give you the fingering that you're supposed to use, at least in most cases, written in there. I want you to check out, I want you to go to YouTube again, if you want to learn more about fingering technique, and just type in piano fingering guide. And my lesson is not here. This one did not rank very well, apparently. Then type in lessons on the web. So piano fingering guide, lessons on the web. It's called The Beginner's Lesson to Proper Piano Fingering. Check that out. And that's where I go over some very basic tips on how to use proper fingering. I also recommend you begin learning your scales if you haven't been doing so already before you practice your hand-in exercises, because that gets you used to some very basic finger crosses. But hand-in exercises shouldn't really have a lot of that. So let me kind of give you some tips on that real quick, because this isn't really a lesson on that topic, but I do want to kind of get you started. So a lot of hand-in exercises are like this, where you start with a pattern and then you just move up. In fact, I think this is the first hand-in exercise, if I remember correctly. So the point is, or the thing I have to tell you is that they'll have the fingering written in for you on most cases, but what you want to do is whatever fingering you start with. So say I start with this fingering here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same fingering, I'm just going to move it up to the next note. So if you're using different fingering for each of these, you're messing up. And say you have this kind of thing, and you run out of fingers, yet you still have more notes to play, well, that means you need to readjust your fingering. So kind of experiment around with it. So if I kind of have a little gap here, start this next fingering here, that gives me enough fingers to play the rest of the pattern. So that's just a little bit of advice for you in terms of fingering with hand-in. So let's take a look here. Okay, I'm a little late, so I'm kind of confused, but I realize the circle of fifths is similar to a clock. Yeah, it does look very similar to a clock indeed. How do accidentals come into play in a composition? They contradict the circle of fifths in terms of the scale. Yeah, accidentals are not part of the key signature, so the circle of fifths isn't going to help you out very much with that. Accidentals generally come in. Now, they can come in for almost any reason, whether you're using something a little bit more advanced called, it's not that advanced, but it is a little bit advanced, called non-chord tones. So say that I have a C chord down here. So my chord tones are C, E, and G. So if I have a melody, we're talking about non-chord tones, and chord tones, you're generally talking about a melody. My chord, say I have this 3-note melody. Just like that. My chord tones are these, because they belong to the chord down below. I have this note right here, a passing tone, which helps pass between chord tones. And there's many different types. So some chord tones you can have sharped or flatted to kind of create some different chromatic kind of sounds that are a little bit more tense. So you can see them for that reason. You will also see accidentals in this other instance, in that if you're borrowing chords, another more advanced thing I do cover in my courses, I believe Music Theory Level 2 and Music Theory Level 3 over on my website. We'll talk about that in a little bit from now. But say we have the primary chords from before in the key of C, and I borrow a chord from another key, meaning that it's going to have a note not from the key signature in it. So how about I do like that, where I have a D in there. Well, in the piece, it's not going to be in the key signature. It's just going to have an F sharp right there. So yeah, you do need to know a little bit more music theory before you can really understand what's going on in terms of the accidentals. So you're right that the circle of fifths isn't going to help you so much in terms of those accidentals. but it is more practical in understanding the key signature, number one. Two, obviously, what notes are in that key signature. You know, what sharps or flats there are going to be. Three, the primary chords in that key, all the things we talked about tonight. And four, the secondary or the substitution chords for that key. What I recommend in terms, I saw a comment from Bandawa about using fingering and hand exercises or going at a certain speed. Use a metronome for that. Start at a slower tempo, then each time you successfully play it, then bump it up a little bit. Abigail, you're very welcome. The house shopping is going good. I did a lot of work on it this week. I've been looking at houses, talking with my realtor, things like that. So, pretty good. There's one I'm pretty interested in. I want the weekend to think about it, though. Hoda J says, thanks, man. You're awesome. Thank you very much. I hold my live streams Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are taking off this next Sunday, but we are meeting next Friday at the same time we are now. Well, we started 42 minutes ago, so whatever 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is for you, that's when we meet. If any of you are new here and you're interested in joining us on a regular basis, I recommend what you do is go to my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. I feel like I'm losing my voice here a little bit, but I'll be strong and hold through. Click on Community at the top toolbar, and then fill out this form to get an email reminder from me 30 minutes before we meet. You can also scroll down, even though I shouldn't tell you about this right now because I haven't filled out the schedule very well. Like I said, I'm in the process of buying a house, so I have to spend a lot of time working on that. Otherwise, it won't get done. So, I do plan on Monday filling out the schedule so you can actually see what we're talking about and when. Usually, right now they just all say community Q&A. Okay, I will watch, says Sigwin. Tim, we give you the time off this Sunday, no charge, says Abigail. I love it, Abigail. Thank you. I gotta go, Tim. Thanks, Tim. No problem on not seeing my videos yet. Don't worry. Have a good week. All right, you too, the bird. Thank you so much. Oh, allergies are here. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, Sci and Science. Gwen. Is it very necessary to play the major? This is by Bandawat. Is it very necessary to play the major scale of every single note with the correct fingering and 2 octaves with both hands at the same time? Yes, it is necessary to get up to there. You want to start out hands separate 1 octave and then hands together 1 octave and then shoot for 2 octaves with both hands together. Thank you very much, Carol Etchoff. I appreciate that. She says, bless you. Okay, so let me do this. And make sure we're good here. Perfect. Okay. Okay, students, if you're trying to get an iron grip on understanding the basics of piano music, or you know some things already, and you're ready to take things more seriously, take them to that next level, I highly recommend you check out my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, because over there I have over 20 courses designed to help you learn a lot more about piano and music, far beyond what the YouTube channel can do for you. Obviously, you're going to learn about piano, theory, improvisation, rhythm, sight reading, and pretty much anything else I felt you would need to become a well-rounded piano player and musician. And just like the YouTube channel, it's all about real music instruction. So there's not like fancy gimmicks, false promises of like, oh, learn piano in 31 seconds or you know, even a month or something like that. That's kind of stuff just isn't realistic. There's no gimmicky number systems or you know, fancy like shortcuts. You know, you've heard all the excuses before. This is real piano and music instruction, the same type that you would find if you took private lessons from a real piano teacher, because I'm a real piano teacher. I do teach privately. This is the same stuff I teach in those lessons that I've put into courses for you. You're really going to like them. Oops, wrong one. You're really going to like them if you like my YouTube channel, because not only do they have instructional videos like the ones you find over here, but they also include, the courses include notes, worksheets, and real sheet music to play, and assignments to make sure you're not only practicing each topic, but you're not only learning each topic, but you're practicing it and mastering it as well. You can check out all the other features here, like they all come with lifetime access, so you can learn at your own pace. They're all compatible with the major devices, both desktop and portable. All right, and I really want to tell you about this, and remember to tell you about this right now, because there is a summer sale going right now until June 22nd. That's only like a week away. All courses and course packs are on sale now. So you can purchase courses individually, or you can get a deal by picking them up in a course pack. And all you do is you click on the pack you want, and it tells you what courses are involved in that pack. This one comes with 9 courses. So you can do the math on what it would normally be. They're normally $29.99 a piece when they are not on sale. So you're definitely getting a great deal here. And you see the 9 courses that are contained in the pack. So you click on the course you want to learn about, and you see the course description, and you can read about it and see if it is for you. Now, if you have any questions about any of the courses or anything, feel free to email me, tim@lessonsontheweb.com, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of your comments or concerns about the courses. Also, when you sign up, another feature is that you will be able to email me, and I'll be more than happy, or you can even Skype me, and I'd be more than happy to guide you along the way. So unlike a lot of other websites where you can never get in contact with anybody, you can get in contact with me, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. So remember, pianolessonsontheweb.com. The sale does end June 22nd. I urge you to not wait on it, really for one reason, because if you're anything like me and you're like, oh, I'll do that next week or whatever, you will forget. If you're anything like me, because I forget almost every time. I have to either do it right then, or I have to put like a reminder in my phone. So I'm like in the middle of something important and my phone goes off and I'm like, oh, what is this? And I was like, oh, but you know, I think you can handle it. So anyway, pianolessonsontheweb.com. I just want to tell you, because if you like our YouTube channel, you're really going to love what you see over there. Tim, Abigail says, Tim, I am sure you're giving your best. Thank you very much. You're very welcome, Abigail. Gary says, great courses. I recommend them, on sale now. Thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate that. Actually, a lot of the people in the live stream right now are enrolled in my courses, and they are very happy with them. Carol even says, Tim's courses are great, and I highly recommend them. Thank you so much, Carol. These are all from real students of ours. Truman Fink says, hi, Tim. Welcome, Truman. I believe it's your first time out here. So happy you could join us this evening. I recommend that you come out and join us again. We're not meeting again Sunday, but we are going to meet again next Friday, and I would love to see you come out for more of these live streams, because the more students we have in attendance, the better of a discussion we have. It's getting better and better all the time, and I think it's because of that one reason. Sorry, Laredo. I did miss Laredo's 2 questions. Let's find them. Okay, great. Laredo says, what would be the difference between a harmonic minor and a melodic minor? Great question. Melodic minor. I don't go over melodic minor too often, but here we go. So a melodic minor is when you start normal, like in minor, and then you finish out in major. But let me look this up to double check, because like I say, I'm more used to natural minor and harmonic minor. So let me look up melodic minor real quick, because I'd rather look something up and look like an idiot that way than give you the wrong information. On the way up, okay, and then the way down, lower them to the original pitches. Okay, so here's how it goes. So there's another part to this. What I told you was right, though. So you go up like you do in minor, and then the 6th and 7th notes, these two, you're going to raise them up by a half step. So it's going to be kind of a pseudo mixture between minor and major. On the way down, you're going to make them natural again. Like that. So that's melodic minor. Harmonic minor is where you only raise the 7th note and you keep it raised even coming down. Okay, let me see what else I missed by Laredo. Okay, Laredo also asks, so the assumption then is that the circle of fifths counts from left to right, while the circle of fourths counts from right to left, correct? Yep, you got it. Warm water before you start playing. Yeah, exactly. All right, have a good one, Fireflower. Thanks for coming out tonight. Bandawat says you're a good teacher. I appreciate you answering the question. You're very welcome, Bandawat. Thanks for coming by again. You're very welcome. Oh, it's piano lessons on the web.com. Let me type it in. Let me type it in for you. It's not piano on the web.com. Piano lessons on the web.com there. I put a... Let me make sure I did put the link right, because I'd really hate to send you the wrong place. There we go. All right, perfect. The link should work. So piano lessons on the web.com. So the name of the channel.com. But that's all right. You were wrong, Carol Etchoff. No problem at all. Tim, I have a Kurzweil. Those are good pianos, but let me check. KA110, 88 keys. Is that a good piano? Let's take a look. Kurzweil. I assume it's a good piano. I don't see it popping up here on my search. But Kurzweils are very, very good in general. So I'm going to say yes. I've never played on that specific model. But if it has 88, especially if they're 88 weighted keys, it's probably a pretty good piano to play on. All right, let me check something really quick here. Thanks for putting the link. You're very welcome, Sigwin. I have a Kurzweil as well. All right, how do you like that, Adria? How do you like your Kurzweil? Carol Edgeoff has a smiley face. That's no problem. All right, good lesson. See you next time, says Lynn. Thank you very much, Lynn, for coming out. Hope to see you again. The more, like I said, the more students we have, the better. And wait, let me get over here so I can see the chat over here. Sorry, everybody. My throat is scratchy. I had some students yesterday that had some kind of throat thing going on. I hope I'm not catching it. You're very welcome, Sigwin. You have a great night, and I'll see you next Friday. Truman Fink says they are. Perfect. All right, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I want to thank everybody else for coming out here tonight. Really, I say this all the time, but I really mean it in that you're the reason that I'm still doing this. If people had lost interest a long time ago, or people had never developed interest in my lessons, I would have stopped back in 2013 when I started, because I would have saw, nobody's watching these, who cares? So you're really the reason we're going stronger than ever. I'm really putting more effort into learning more and more things to make the channel the best way it can. And really, a lot of that has to do from the inspiration that I get from all of you. So I always want to take the time towards the end of the lesson, if I remember, to thank all of you for that, because it's a really important part of my life. I really feel like it's given my life a lot of extra meaning. It's not the only thing in my life that has meaning, but it definitely has made my life better. And I have a lot of my success to thank, to really thank you all for. So thank you so much. Thanks for having a live stream. I hope you have another live stream next week. We probably will. Like I said, schedule's a little wonky because I'm in the process of buying a house, which I will, update you on as the process goes through. Loretta says, thank you, Tim. Your lessons are very enlightening and immensely valuable. I'm proud to be part of this great group of the stars that shine brightly. Thank you very much, Loretta. I appreciate it. I just enjoy being part of this class. I enjoy having you be part of this class as well, and everybody else. Tim, don't settle on a house you know is the right house the minute you open the door, even before you walk through it. The one I was looking at yesterday, I kind of felt that way. I was looking at pictures of it, and I thought it looked really nice. Actually, the thing about it is I saw two houses. I thought one was going to impress me a lot more than the other. And it was kind of the other way around, because I walked into the one house, which actually was a bit older, and the neighborhood I don't like as much. But I was walking through, and I was like, man, I don't like this. I don't like this. This needs to be replaced. It had an old roof on it, which really makes me nervous. I do not like that at all, that it has an old roof on it, because, as you know, that can mean a lot of problems. I can move in there, and a month later, the freaking thing could be leaking. Old water heater, old everything. Everything really needed to be replaced, which means I could have probably gotten a decent deal on the house. But there was other things I didn't like about it. This other one, the neighborhood was nice. Everybody, now I don't know all the neighbors or anything, because you really can't knock on every door. But every time I've driven by there, I'm actually going to go up there again tomorrow to check it out, because it's the weekend and it might have a different vibe to it. So I want to check it out at different times to see what the neighborhood's like. And I really liked it. And I did some measurements last night, because the only concern I had about it was it wasn't going to be, I wasn't sure if it was going to be big enough. But it is big enough to fit everything I need in there. So I want to think about it some more, though. I'm looking at your website, and I'm not sure which course I should purchase, says Bandawat. Okay, so... Bandawat, email me, tim@lessonsontheweb.com. Let me know or use the contact me page on the website, and send me an email. Let me know where you are, learning piano-wise, whether you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, you want to pick up the course Introduction to Piano and Music, or you want to get the beginner's course pack right there. So let me know via email, and I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction. Okay, Carol says, I wish I was there to help you buy a house. Thank you very much, Carol. And thank you for your advice, like not spending a lot of money or buying any big purchases. That's helpful. I wasn't planning on it anyway, but it is good to know that it's really important, and it could have an influence on settlement or getting the loan. So thank you for that. Okay, I will. Thanks, says Bandawat. Great. I will either get back to you tonight after the live stream, but if I don't, because it's nighttime here, I will get back to you tomorrow morning. So if I don't get back to you right away, that I will get to you first thing in the morning. I'm starting, but I've experience in music from playing guitar since the 90s. So you might want to start with the beginner's courses, but yeah, just email me, give me like a little bit more context into what you know, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. All right, Tim, you're the reason we are all here. You're twice as much of a blessing to us here, and thank you again for another great lesson. Thank you so much, Abigail, for being a great member of our community. The only reason I was laughing is because Hoda had made a comment at the bottom. Tim, do you have a cat? Not anymore. Unfortunately, my cat that I had for 19 years died last August. Once I buy the house, I'm not going to get a cat right away. Mainly because I just want to settle in, see what's going on, you know what I mean? I don't want to be juggling too many things at once, so I probably won't get a cat right away. Okay, Laredo says, wishing you all the absolute best for the decision on the house, Tim. Trust your instinct. Yeah, so the instinct so far is that this house that I'm looking at is a good choice. I got some, and like I said, I like the neighborhood, and they say it's all about location. And the house is nice. Like, everything in it is, like, the roof, like, I know this isn't in the house, but the roof is brand new, like April of this year. And that's very important because a new roof will cost you a lot of money. If it leaks, it's a big problem. It does have a new water heater. It has a new air conditioner. It's from the 80s, so it's a little bit more modern than the other house I was looking at. It doesn't have that ugly popcorn ceiling. I apologize if your house has a popcorn ceiling. It just looks awful to me. I'm not a big fan of it. But this other one didn't have that. And it had really nice wood floors. I really like it overall. I really do. But I want to spend the weekend thinking about it because that's just how I am. Thank you, Tim. You're my piano teacher, says Truman Fink. You're very, very welcome. Thanks for coming out. Hoda says, I agree. Location is important. Yeah, absolutely. That's what everybody I had asked said. You know, location, location, location is a big part of it. Although you can never tell what your neighbors are going to be like. Now you can drive around and see if they take care of their property, and that will. And actually, everybody in the neighborhood seems to take good care of their property, so that is a good. That's a good. But you can never tell like who might be obnoxious or who's like the town gossip or anything like that. You'll never be able to predict that, but you do the best you can. Carol, I just said I looked at 15 houses before I found the correct one. Yeah, I may very well continue to look at houses. I really just want to spend some time thinking about if like this one feels right. But then again, it's like only the second house I looked at. But houses are going quick right now. Inventory is low in my area. So, I don't know. I did ask the realtor. I was like, well, if somebody makes an offer before me, if I wait on it a little bit and think about it, and somebody makes an offer before me, I said, there are more houses that open up in this neighborhood, right? And he said, yeah, it might be a little while, but there are more because I really like the neighborhood. But I know there are other neighborhoods out there, so... You know, even if this one I decide not to go on and I have to go with something else, it won't be. I wind up with something better. So, but it does suit all my needs. Like I have a really good list. I've been thinking about it for at least a year. I've been thinking about it for years now, but really thinking about like in terms of what I'm going to need. And it does fit everything I wanted. It actually need and wanted for the most part. Where do I live at? I'm not going to give you an exact location, but I will tell you that I live on the East Coast. I'll even tell you that I live in Pennsylvania right now. Okay, bye, Jordan. Jordan says, thank you so much, Tim. My best teacher online ever. Have a great week and a great night, you too. Take care and God bless you. Leaving now. Bye, everybody. All right, bye, Jordan. You have a great one. Have fun at church. Hopefully it is an enlightening experience for you. Essential oils will help your allergies. You know what? It will also help my allergies. Not being in a basement, I think. Because whenever I'm upstairs, I do have them, but they are better. Random supporter says, haha, me too. I wish you were in Florida, then we could be neighbors, says Hoda. All right. Well, I don't have any plans on moving to Florida, at least not anytime soon. I'm a Tennessee I'm in Tennessee. Tim. Oh, bye, Tim. See you next time. All right, bye, Truman. Oh, we are at the hour. I didn't even notice that. I pray that you'll get a house you really like, says Abigail. A blessed week to you. Yeah, Carol Edgel says mold. Yeah, there's probably some kind of mold down here. I don't see any black mold or anything, but it's a basement, and it does get damp down here. Also, what could be a problem is it is unfinished, so there is like insulation up there. And I'm sure like little pieces of it are just flying all over the place. So that's going to be probably one of the better things about getting a house is that we will have a wonderful office to broadcast from. Barbara has some very good advice here. Barbara says if one gets in their offer ahead of you, that means it wasn't the right house. Trust God and all will go well for you. I agree with that. So that's the kind of mindset I have. If by the end of the weekend or even into the week, like however long it takes for me, I really want to make a move on it. But like I said, it's one of the first houses I looked at, and I know there are other houses out there. I have looked at a lot of houses online though for probably since October. And I would say that this one's definitely well above average of the other ones I've looked at for the price. I did also get some paperwork today, a seller's disclosure, I think they called it. And there isn't, as far as they know, or they're putting down on paper, there isn't anything really wrong with the house. Of course, if I decide to make an offer, I'll get it inspected. My luck, the inspector is going to be like, yeah, there's a huge crack in the foundation and it's about to split in two. But that would surprise me because everything else in it, I don't see anything that I could see. I'm not an inspector, though. I don't go up in the attic or down, into the foundation. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm off to checking out your site. Thank you. You're very welcome, Hoda. Thanks for coming out. If you have any questions about the website or courses, please email me. Use the contact form, and I'll be happy to help. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Let me do a outro. Okay, for when I piece the video together. Okay, students, one thing I really want you to do is subscribe because we have new lessons coming out all the time, and I don't want you to miss a beat. I also want you to become a bigger part of our community, and subscribing's a really good way to do it because you're going to get notified then. All right, I definitely want you to do what I want you to do is check out this playlist called the Songwriter's Toolbox, where not only do we go over the circle of fifths, we also build on that if you're interested in writing your own music. So remember the Songwriter's Toolbox. I'll put a annotation that will pop up once I have the video ready. So thanks, everybody. This has been Tim from Piano Lessons on the Web, and I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, Abigail says, God bless you, Tim. Don't say with my luck, as if it's going to be bad. Lorraine, well, my luck is good. I don't know if I said my luck recently, but I do tend to say stuff like that. But I'm very, very blessed, for sure. Nothing's perfect. As you know, as some of you know, I had like a really bad year last year in terms of things happening, but I'd say overall I'm very, very, very blessed. I'm very blessed to have all of you. That's for sure. All right, everybody, have a great night, and I'll talk to you on next Friday. We're off Sunday, remember that, but we will be back on next Friday with some more great lessons. I have some great lesson ideas coming in the works, so keep your eyes peeled. So thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.